So a thought came across my mind and I wanted to talk about it. So I don't know if I'm gonna put these clips into a standalone video or if I'm gonna make this just part of the vlog. I don't know. You guys will know whenever I post this. But I wanted to talk about honoring your boundaries and setting your boundary, like setting your boundaries and then honoring your boundaries. So it's one thing for us to set our boundaries, right? Drinking some green tea here. It's one thing for us to set our boundaries, but it's another thing for us to actually enforce our boundaries and honor our boundaries. And it can be even more difficult when you're trying to do that with people who are your family or your friends. And the one thing about this, or the most important thing about this that you can take away, is that when you set boundaries, you have to be the one to enforce them and you have to be the one to honor them. At the end of the day, you can tell people what they can and cannot do, what they should and should not do, what they will and won't say to you. But if you're not practicing that and honoring that for yourself, they're not going to either. And I've been thinking about all the ways that I am honoring myself, setting my boundaries, honoring and enforcing my boundaries. I think that we want to make things look and feel perfect all the time. And what I am beginning to learn is that making things perfect, like making things perfect for real, requires you to get extremely comfortable with moving about the chaos and making things that you consider chaotic or out of alignment work in your benefit. All things are forever working in your favor. All things are always working to your benefit. Nothing is happening to you, everything is happening for you. And so when you are provided, right? This is how you change your language. When you change your language, you shift your mindset. When you shift your mindset, you change your reality. So when you are granted the blessing that is the opportunity of setting and enforcing a boundary with a person or a situation, you are to walk in the knowing that this is happening for your greater good. If you are having a situation with a friend, a family member, your job, your boss, whoever, that is now requiring and asking of you to set a boundary and enforce it, that is a blessing of an opportunity. It's not, oh, damn, like this sucks, now I have to set a boundary. No, like, that's a blessing of an opportunity. You get what I'm saying? How are you guys really showing up for yourselves? You know what I mean? How are you enforcing your boundaries? How are you setting your boundaries? How are you enforcing your boundaries? How are you communicating your boundaries? How are you doing what needs to be done? Are you doing what needs to be done? Are you taking those proper steps? Are you just getting honest about the fact that certain people and situations make you uncomfortable and you just need to set a boundary? That's it. Set the boundary. And you know what I've also learned? Sometimes setting the boundary begins with like setting the boundary for yourself, like telling yourself, look, I'm no longer gonna put myself in environments where that person is or these people are, or I'm no longer going to apply for jobs that I know don't serve me. And yeah, that means you might have to wait a little bit longer to it means you might have to wait a little bit longer just in general to get hired somewhere. But wouldn't you prefer to wait it out a little bit longer and accept employment somewhere that is more in alignment with what you want to do, rather than just take the first couple things offered because you need something and then you're operating in this mindset of lack and scarcity? And so of course you'll keep getting employment opportunities, but they'll never be truly in alignment with what you want to do. So that's setting the boundary for yourself first. Like, that's like, yeah, I'm not gonna apply for these kind of jobs anymore because I never like them. You know, like, I never like them. They never serve me. I always end up with, coworkers who I have issues with, whatever. Like, okay, that's your sign from the universe that you need to take yourself out of these environments. Like, stop putting yourself in these environments. Sometimes it's not always what they're doing to me, what they're saying to me. Sometimes it's what I'm allowing them to do and say to me. Message? No, but like, Sometimes that's the message. What are you doing and allowing people to say to you and do to you? You have to set the boundaries with yourself first, honestly, before you can set boundaries with other people and tell them what they will and will not do, what they can and cannot do. You need to be doing it first. Are you continuing to put yourself in environments and situations and around people that you know don't serve you? And then are you asking those people to respect your boundaries? You know they don't serve you, so you know they don't give a fuck. And that's not to say every single time you find yourself in an aligned space, every single person there is going to like you and be your best friend and it'll be perfect. Sometimes it will, because you do deserve just beautifully aligned experiences and circumstances, but we're human beings and we're always evolving and we're always on our journeys. So you still have to be aware of that. And that means that just as much as you are on your journey and you're healing and you're evolving and you're growing and you're doing better, so is the next person, but it's not going to look the same. Sometimes them getting better means that they might need to engage in what feels like an argument to them with you, and what for you feels just like a misunderstanding and a breakdown of communication. But see, they haven't reached that point of realizing the conversation you all are having is just a misunderstanding and a breakdown of communication. They are at the point where it's still an argument, but they still need that for their growth. Once you start moving about the world and your interactions with people in that kind of a knowing, you can just take a breath. You can be like, this interaction that I'm having right now with this person is not only for my growth, but it is for their growth as well. This is where they are. I can't meet them below this, and I can't meet them above this. This is where they are. So do all that you can to put yourself in environments and spaces where you're met with people who are a little bit more aligned with you. That's all I'm saying. Like, set boundaries with yourself first before you try to set them with anybody else.